Hello and welcome. This is Creative Mode with Zhenya. I'm your host. Just gonna wait for folks to come in. Welcome. We also have a special guest here today. This is Valerie. She's my creative partner in crime. Welcome. Good to have you here. So, all you're really gonna need for today, just some paper, some colorful utensils. This is really just a short, sweet little practice to get into our bodies, our breath, our heart, and see what comes out. You know, this is really playful moment. So, I was thinking about doing it a little bit differently today. So I'm gonna have Valerie in here too. So usually I come on and we have like a 25-minute session, but I think today I'm just gonna open the floor for people to just, you know, do what they want in their time, and I'm going to actually do like a Q&A. So I'll set us up, we'll do a brief meditation, I'll talk about the energies of the season, and then if you feel like kind of doing nothing, that's fine. If you feel like listening, if you feel like drawing, if you feel like moving, I'm just gonna have really just open the floor for what you need, and maybe just as we move through the meditation, you'll sort of get a sense of what you need. So before I get started, so we have 6 planets in retrograde. I felt it, I'm feeling it. So a large part of this practice will be really about soothing the nervous system and sort of just being available for what you need. Maybe being available for listening, being available for just tuning in, being available for doing nothing, because when we do nothing, we're more able to listen. We're more able to be in sync with our systems. Close it up, babe. Oh, do you need the water for the markers? So Valerie's birthday was yesterday.
I have an idea.
And she's got these new crayons, so new markers. So
Dip them in the water.
No, I'm not gonna dip them in the water. I'm gonna take your cue. Right. What else are we sitting with? We're sitting with some seasonal changes. You know, in this part of the world, the temperature has dropped. Right. We're not really feeling that sort of oppressive heat that we've had for a little while, and I'm noticing the need to rest and process and really grieve. For a long time, I used to say, oh, you know, I don't really care if summer ends because, like, you know, there's fun to be had whatever time. But actually, if I'm honest with myself, there's a lot of changes between the end of summer and the beginning of fall, not just in nature, but in our lives. I mean, if you have kids, they're going to school and schedules change and rhythms change, and you know, we have to honor that. So the seasonal stuff is coming up too. So really, for me, I'm noticing the real need to rest during this time. It feels like it's a very busy time seasonally. You know, the kids are going to school, there's a lot of things going on, but actually it's a quieting. There's a quietness that needs to be present in our lives too. And I just wanted to say that because oftentimes it's really hard for us to sit, especially when we're feeling the seasonal stuff, the seasonal changes. But just allow yourself some space. Allow yourself some space to rest, to do nothing, to not be productive, to just be quiet, because creative people need time to do nothing. So let this be a permission to do nothing. Right. So let's get started with a meditation, with a brief meditation. This is how I like to start my sessions because it really allows us to just soften and just to open ourselves up to the divine, to come through, to have a conversation with ourselves. And so feel free to close your eyes or lower your gaze if that feels more comfortable. And take a nice, gentle, deep breath. I'm just going to put some music in the background. And take another deep breath in through your nose. And now allow yourself to make a sound on the exhale. Allow it to be as soft. Allow it to be as rough. If you need a roar, let it roar. And just with each inhale, feel the breath expanding your chest, almost like feeding you. Go into places, giving you oxygen. And on the exhale, just allow yourself to release from wherever the floor touches your body. So allow the breath to just go down through your body and exit through your feet or through your butt if that's where you're sitting on the floor. And just be aware of that in and out, that flow, that gentle breath. You don't have to push the breath. You don't have to make it bigger or smaller. Just allow it to be as it needs to be in this moment. And if you want to take your two arms and just give yourself a nice hug. One arm can go under your armpit and the other arm can go over your shoulder. And feel free to change your arms. Welcome, just slow, just having a meditation, a grounding meditation to soothe our bodies. And if this feels good, keep your arms there. If not, just put your hands on your knees. I like to rock sometimes, front and back. Just find a seating position, find a meditation position that just feels all right to you. And put one hand on your heart and the other one on your lower belly. And notice where your hand on your heart, where it feels most comfortable. And notice if you feel any tingling, any warmth. Creativity is a heart-centered practice. And our hearts are leading us to speak, to act, to be in this world that is in alignment with who we are. And sometimes we get it wrong. if there even is a wrong. Sometimes we have to step back and to reassess. And that's okay. Everything's learning experience. And our heart can really help us to see clarity. Thank you, Rachel. I'll come back to that question when we're done with the meditation. It's a really beautiful question. Thank you. And then with the other hand that's on your lower belly, just allow yourself to just hold that belly, the ocean of our emotion. And imagine that there's a little child that is curled up in that space, our inner child. And just feel how your hand just is lovingly holding that belly, that place, that bed for our inner child. This is where our emotions are. This is the seat of our security, our sexuality, our fire, our creativity. And just slowly breathe in and out, holding yourself in this cocoon of love. And say to yourself, I invite creativity, I invite innocence and joy. I invite all the things to help me learn and see and feel safe. A few more breaths in and out. And you may put your hands down and start to come back to the room. Feel free to look around, to orient yourself back into the physical space. So thank you for being here. So I'm just gonna make this into a Q&A question. If you have some supplies, feel free to just drop in how you're feeling. Feel free to doodle, feel free to color, just any color that you see, pick it up and just draw with it, write with it. You don't have to have a destination. I just want to offer a space to just do what you need. And if you want some suggestions, I can give you some suggestions too. So Valerie just has had some of these really cool, they're called like lipstick pens that she got for her birthday. So she used water. But yeah, they're essentially like kind of like they're like crayon, but they're also like I love the way they. So yeah, that was her painting, her little inspired. So I wanted to offer this an opportunity for people to ask questions about creativity, just kind of, anything that's on your mind. This is what I teach, and, this is a process that I've been through myself, so I hope that it offers you some grounding. I see Rachel Ruby. I hope she's still in. She says, how do you deal with self-doubt or fear based around creativity? Yeah. So that's a very, very beautiful question. She says beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, self-doubt and fear is a really natural thing that comes up for us. So fear, the essence of fear is really to protect us. Are you done, or you want to do a little more? Okay, thank you. Love you. And it's really, it's there sort of in whatever part of the brain it lives or where it functions. It's really there to protect us. And so fear's essential role is to protect us. And so if we're doing something new, fear is going to come up, right? So what do? We start small. We start really, really small, right? Because what we want to not do is we don't want to come in and be like, all right, let me draw an animal, or let me draw something perfect, right? So what we want to do is we just want to start small. So the easiest thing that I do is I doodle. I ask people to doodle, right? There's actually, if you want to come out, and there's a link in my bio. There's a short meditation that I offer with Insight Timer. It's just a doodling meditation, but it's a really great way to start, because what I want us to do when we sit down is I want us to recognize that it's going to come up, right? So we're not really trying to push it. We're really not trying to act like it's not there. If it's really inhibiting, get up, get some water, take a brief walk around the apartment or wherever you are. Give yourself a break, right? Because understand that this is a new thing that you're doing, and new things are always going to seem scary, right? Because that part of our brain that does not recognize a new activity will always go into fear mode. And that's fine, right? We just want to just want to work with that, right? We don't want to listen to that fear or that self-doubt, right? We just kind of want to work with it. Okay, like, yeah, this is going to be hard, or this feels not doable. All right, let's get up, give ourselves a break, and come back to it, right? So the easiest thing I like to do with folks who are just starting out in their own creativity practice is understand that we are all creative. We all have the creative potential to express ourselves in ways that we need, right? Creativity isn't dependent on what we make, right? Creativity is actually the way we live, the way we express ourselves, the way we love, the things we notice in our life that give us meaning. I mean, it's really a conversation. And so we need to have that conversation with self-doubt and fear, right? And not by bypassing it, and not by pretending like it's not there, because it is. It is there for everyone, right? And sometimes when we are, drawing, right, for an example, and we seem like we made a mistake, I invite you to continue drawing, or to continue doing that thing around the mistake, right? Around the perceived mistake, right? Because oftentimes beautiful things will actually come out of the mistakes, right? Because the mistake oftentimes makes us want to stop and put things down. But actually, I invite you to continue maybe drawing around the mistake, maybe allowing the mistake to be that detail that you hadn't even thought about, right? We want to approach creativity in a creative way, which kind of seems silly, but it's true. I hope that was helpful. Rachel, let me know. So if you're interested in just getting started right now, and I'll give you an idea. So the best thing to do, and I do this with everyone really, is take paper. I mean, I'm not even looking at the paper, right? That's how important it is. Take a paper and just start to doodle. Just start to move your pen around, right? And notice when is your arm relaxed, right? If it's not, stop what you're doing and just like wave your arm around, right? We really kind of want to get comfortable in our bodies, and that's going to take practice, right? Turn the page around and just start doodling, right? What we want to do is we want to just with ease just move our pens around, right? And then when you feel ready to stop, you can stop and color some sections in. Write some words. Is there a favorite poem that you have in your mind? Are there some patterns that you want to add to that, right? Oh, these are beautiful markers. So I really just wanted to have an open space for questions, and if anybody wanted some suggestions on how to, on a creative exercise, or if you just want to sit and do nothing and just listen and just be with the words that I'm saying, you're welcome to do that as well. I'm feeling like a little overwhelmed today, so I just thought I'm just gonna do a really simple open space for creativity to just come through as it needs to. So I love to doodle. That's kind of one of my favorite things. But I also have, I'm just actually sitting on it. I often like to do this. So I bought this long, I don't know if you can see, it's just a long roll of paper. And I put it on the floor all around me, and I just draw. I just draw whatever comes, right? Lines, circles, words. Like, what do I need to hear right now, right? For me, the way I teach creativity is allowing us to sort of tune in to what wants to be said right now, right? What do we need to hear right now? And if we just kind of tune into our body, we do our meditation, we ground into our breath, we ground into our heart, it's much easier for things to just come through. So I just write things, that I'm feeling. Any color, So I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna allow myself to play as well, right? And hopefully it feeds you as well. Maybe mixing some colors. If you have paint, that's an easier way to do it. Maybe you just want to mix some colors. Yeah, go ahead. If you have any questions, anything about creativity that you're curious about, because curiosity is the first step. Curiosity. Oftentimes in my workshops, I talk about fear versus curiosity, right? How can we sort of shift where we stand to be curious, right? To start with a question as opposed to a judgment or just shut down, right? How can we ask? This is my favorite thing to do when I go outside, when I go to the park, if you have a green space near you, and just look at the trunk of the trees. And start to look at the different patterns that they show. It's so beautiful. There's so many different patterns that trees have. I mean, nature is art, right? It's the easiest way to notice art. You don't even have to go to a gallery. You could just literally go to a park or just stop by a tree and touch it. Touch the coarseness of it, all the little life that's on that bark. It's really the curiosity. We can start with curiosity. And if it's hard for you, no, I empathize completely. But and we can give ourselves permission. We can do it. We can give ourselves permission to start with curiosity, little by little, I'm currently trying to shift my mindset from perfectionism to curiosity. Yes. Perfectionism is just a tool of oppression. And I understand that I struggle with perfectionism as well, and that really paying attention to where that perfectionism comes up, how can we be curious about it, right? Because oftentimes in our life, right, we have a plan, right, and then oftentimes it won't work the way something happened. There was a slight shift of momentum, and so nothing in life really works out perfectly either, right? But even with all the things that don't work out, it actually kind of works out in our own best interest. And I feel like perfectionism is sort of that tool that we need to notice in ourselves, because it's definitely a tool of oppression, and ask, right? Just also have space to be compassionate for ourselves, because perfectionism, the perfectionist in us doesn't want to be hated. The perfection in us wants to be brought in the fold of who we are, right? And sometimes that perfectionist in us has tools that we can use, right? But not the way perfectionism often manifests in us, which is like trying to do things, without mistakes, and trying to do things, from zero to go, right? I'm sitting with this thought lately about all the little steps that it takes in a leap, right? We think about a leap like I want to do this thing, right? I want to do this thing in the future. But actually what it is just tiny steps, one after another, and we sort of have to honor those steps, right? And so moving from perfectionism to curiosity is actually a leap as well, and we just need to honor those little small steps. I hope that's been helpful, Rachel. I really appreciate your vulnerability and just being here and asking questions. I really like this Q&A. I might do this again. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if this has been nurturing for you. I am here every first of the month on Wednesday at 3 p.m. And I offer, just a little bit of time to get curious and really just do creative things together, right? Even if that's just conversation. Usually I forget, but I'm going to pick a card because I am called to pick a card. If there's any questions, please go ahead and ask them now. If not, add them to the comment section after I post a video. So I am picking a card from the Vessel deck. It's an oracle deck that I love. It's really simple, sweet little cards. Thank you, Rachel. So one last thing I wanted to say was on the 8th of October, Mick is going to have a community retreat. We usually call it an open house, but it's going to be a community retreat in various spaces in Brooklyn. I think also virtual as well, possibly. And I'll be doing a mini workshop on creativity called Creativity is a Portal to Your Abundance. I hope you make it. I hope to see you and meet you. All right, let me tune in. Oof. All right. What do we need in this moment in time as a collective? Abundance is the card that came for us, and I'll get into this in the workshop in October, but it feels abundance oftentimes feels like it's this external thing that we're trying to get to, but it's actually it's actually who we are, and it's coming back to feeling safe in our bodies, having a practice that nurtures us, touching our heart once a day to show ourselves compassion and acceptance, right? When we start to do those things for ourselves, when we start to really show up for ourselves in a tender, loving, curious way, our cups get full. All our cups get full. And that is really how we tend to our abundance. That is how we tap into our abundance. And creativity is just one of those ways. It's an integral portal that is available to all of us. I hope this has been nurturing. It's so funny that the abundance came up. I love you. See you next month on the first Wednesday. Be well. All the best to you.